It was pouring rain outside. Lightning and thunder were everywhere. The storm had been going for over 10 days, causing a flash flood in the mountains. Most of the town below was flooded and the entire city had lost power. Everywhere you looked, it was like islands in the sea. The roads were landslides, with rocks and trees scattered everywhere. Every household had closed up and stopped supplies. The villa's gate opened just then. Kevin walked in with his first love, Lisa. Kevin was drenched, while Lisa stayed completely dry. Even her big dog wasn't wet. Clearly, Kevin made sure of that. But at that moment, I didn't care about it. What I cared about was, I had come back to life. In my past life, around the same time, Kevin was frantic. He rushed all night to bring Lisa back, before the roads collapsed. Our villa is big, and we have enough food. What's one more person? She won't survive down there without power and water, he said. With nature's fury around us, I felt maybe I shouldn't be selfish. Plus, Kevin assured me Lisa was just staying temporarily and wouldn't interfere with my life. I believed him, but it turned into my nightmare. Lisa claimed she was scared of thunder and crawled into bed with Kevin late at night. Her dog happily raided my stockpile of food, devouring beef jerky, imported steaks, and French lobsters. All I said was, we should save some. We can't get anything from down the mountain right now. Lisa burst into tears, accusing me of not wanting to see her, calling herself a burden, saying I lacked compassion, even claiming I was cold-hearted towards animals. Kevin grew upset with me too, throwing me out to reflect in the rain and storm, even sending me out alone to find food. From the mountaintop, I watched Lisa's dog charge at me with bared teeth. I eventually fell off a cliff and died. Floating above, I saw them living happily like a family of 3. No one spared a glance at me, even though I was 3 months pregnant. But the next day, they weren't smiling anymore. Because with the storms came the inevitable landslide. Our villa was at the top of a mountain. In this life, I want to see them buried alive. Forever. Jane, I'm really sorry for this. If it's inconvenient, I'll leave right away, Lisa said, pretending as if she wasn't practically glued to Kevin's side. I glanced at Kevin. He wore the expression of a knight in shining armor. This is my house. I make the decisions here. Lisa, you stay as long as you want. Don't let anyone bother you, he said. We all knew who anyone was referring to. Lisa was Kevin's first love. They dated for a year until he caught her cheating. Still, when Lisa divorced after her husband went bankrupt, Kevin rushed to bring her back, buying her a car, house, jewelry, treating her like a princess. I felt uneasy before, but now I'm glad she's staying. Who else would the landslide take in a couple of days if she left now? Ignoring Kevin's remarks, I smiled. Yeah, stay as long as you need. We've got enough supplies to last a month. Lisa shot me a smug look, while her dog grinned wide at me. Where will I stay, Kevin? You know I'm scared of thunder. I can't sleep alone in this storm, she hinted clearly. Immediately, Kevin ordered me, move Lisa's stuff to our room, and you can take the next room over. How ironic. Lisa arrives, and I have to give up my bed. But I didn't resist. I went right away to carry her bags. In my previous life, I opposed and questioned Kevin. Why should I move? I'm the homeowner, your wife. Kevin just sneered, grabbing my chin. In front of Lisa, you're nobody, not even hired help. Now, I personally moved her bags into the master bedroom, even hanging her clothes next to Kevin's. Lisa lay on my bed with her dog. Jane, it's pathetic. After all these years, Kevin's heart still belongs only to me, she sneered. You're not even a servant. If I were you, I'd pack and leave. How dare you stay? Honestly, I felt pathetic too, but I couldn't leave yet. There needed to be a reason, or they'd suspect something. I had to provoke Lisa into kicking me out. Thinking this, I touched my belly and whispered, I don't want to watch you two rekindle anything, but I have dignity. I'm pregnant with Kevin's kid, and he won't let me leave. True to form, Lisa, always haughty, jumped up, glaring at my stomach. You're pregnant with Kevin's child. I laughed, of course. He's my husband. Who else's child would it be? In the next second, Lisa stormed downstairs. She pointed a shaking finger at Kevin. Kevin, how could you do this? Cheat on me and get Jane pregnant? I had my mind blown. Kevin and I were the official couple, the legally married ones. Yet Lisa acted like she was the legitimate partner, like I was the mistress. Kevin shot me a lethal glare. Why did you tell Lisa such nonsense? It's laughable. Kevin still desires my body, but reminisces about Lisa. He probably dreams of having both of us serve him. Get lost. I've already had enough of this nonsense. If it hadn't been for this constant rain this month, I would have aborted the pregnancy the day I found out. Lisa was still crying, and Kevin was holding her, trying to comfort her. Don't worry, she's just my baby maker. I didn't want you to have my kid, because I love you. Lisa looked up with tearful eyes. Really? Kevin nodded firmly, but I interrupted. Kevin, you can't lie. You just think Lisa got divorced and was with other men. So you're scared the baby isn't yours. That's why you want me to have your kid. Damn. Lisa's face flushed with anger, and she raised her hand to hit me. Bitch, Kevin would never say that. You're just trying to mess up my relationship with Kevin. Before her hand hit me, I stepped back. I wanted to provoke her, but that didn't mean I'd let her hit me. Seeing me dodge, she got more frustrated and yelled for her dog. Son, get her, bite her to death. You dare to dodge. Look at my son tear you apart. The dog, obediently baring its fangs, lunged at me. Honestly, I was terrified. I've been scared of dogs since I was a kid. With its aggression, it might really bite me to death. I quickly hid behind Kevin. Honey, I can't die. I still have your child, I pleaded. Kevin might not love me that much, but we've been together for years and our child is my biggest leverage now. He yelled, Lisa, make it stop. But Lisa objected. Kevin shouted again, get it out now. The dog finally laid down at Lisa's feet, and I breathed a sigh of relief. Lisa, on the other hand, was furious. Lily came to call us for dinner, and Lisa put her dog in one of the chairs to eat with us. I frowned. Dogs aren't clean. Lisa slammed her chopsticks on the table. What dog? That's my son. Just like your belly's kid. Hilarious. I looked at Kevin. So, Lisa's saying your son is a dog too. Kevin, with a stern face, served Lisa a bowl of soup. Let's just eat and talk less. There was no way to enjoy that meal with a big dog growling across the table. Lisa was delighted, though. After eating her fill, she handed me the dog. Go give my son a bath, and make sure it's thorough. Don't just wipe him off. She was being deliberately demanding, and Kevin didn't stop her. Go on, it's just a bath. It won't kill you. Wow, what a great husband I have. You'll have your moment for about another day and a half. I wasn't about to wash that dog. I took it to the pantry. The dog got a whiff of the food and pushed its way inside. A few minutes later, the gourmet food was all gone, and the place was a mess. Only then did I notify Kevin and Lisa. They were cozy in the room. Lisa's voice was sweet as honey. Kevin, I can't take it. Divorce her now. I can't live under the same roof with your wife. It makes me feel like the third wheel. Kevin, catching his breath, said, she's pregnant. Don't worry, once she gives birth, I'll kick her out and let you raise the kid. You won't have to go through childbirth again. What a pair of disgusting lovers. I quietly backed out, just as a servant handed me a phone. It was Kevin's assistant, sounding anxious. The rain isn't stopping. I asked around, and the mountain isn't safe. There's a landslide risk. I should get you out today. Scared me to death. How could I leave now? If I go, how will they get buried alive and locked in? Luckily, I answered the call. It's fine, we checked. Everything's normal. I'll let you know if we need to leave. He continued to persuade me. It's really not safe. The Michaels on the next hill already moved out. I cut him off. All right. Come by tomorrow afternoon. Don't call until then. Kevin needs his rest. He hesitated but eventually hung up. Finally got rid of him. I stood on the balcony and saw the dark hillside. Indeed, they moved quickly. Lisa and Kevin finally wrapped things up. Lisa wore my silk robe with visible marks. Arrogant much, but I didn't care. The worse for her, the better. She proudly sat on the couch. Where's my son? Is he clean yet? I feigned panic. Oh no, I lost track of him. Don't know where he went. Lisa jumped up, angrily aiming to smack me. But I slapped her first, and she looked stunned. You hit me. How dare you? I acted innocent. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It's just my reflex when anyone raises a hand. Lisa stomped in frustration. Kevin, you're just going to watch her bully me. Kevin turned around, a dark expression on his face, and smacked me. That's for Lisa. Jane, I've spoiled you too much. Ha, he spoils me. He has a mistress, other women, and says he spoils me. He hits me for his mistress, and says he spoils me. He even, for a dog, disregards me, and still claims he spoils me. Where's the face he has to say he spoils me? But I won't argue now. I have more important things to handle. Lisa yelled orders to the servants. Go find him, all of you, and bring my son back to me. She was clinging to Kevin, crying harder than anyone else in the room. Kevin, Jane did it on purpose. She can't stand me, so she bullied my son. She lost him on purpose. Kevin, you have to stand up for my son. Kevin comforted her while glaring at me with hatred. Jane, if anything happens to Lisa's son, your life isn't worth enough to pay for it. I managed a painful smile. And my son, the one I'm carrying, do we even matter? Lisa threw an ashtray at me with force. Yours isn't worth shit. What right does your son have to compare to mine? If my son doesn't come back, let yours die with him. Yeah, in their eyes, the baby I'm carrying doesn't even mean as much as a dog. It's really ironic. The ashtray landed by my feet, and the maid shouted, Sir, we found him, but the maid was just another sycophant. Even with me, the lawful wife, right there, she didn't even glance my way. Fine, let her die with that rotten pair. I had thought about taking her with me when I left. Now, no need. I'm counting down the time. Only a few hours left. Kevin and Lisa finally found her dog in the storage room. That beast had eaten its fill and was snoring on the floor. All the food I had stocked up earlier was gone, devoured. Packaging scattered everywhere. Lisa didn't even look at the wasted food. She just hugged her dog, crying tears of joy. Son, I thought I'd never find you. In this terrible weather, if you ran out, you'd be dead. Yeah, in this awful weather, even she knew a dog wouldn't survive outside. But in our past life, they locked me out in the rain. Kevin glanced at the empty packaging. Sir, our food supplies that had stocked up are almost gone. We won't last long. The maid looked sadly at the empty food packages. Lisa abruptly glared at the maid. What do you mean, blaming my son for eating those supplies? The maid quickly lowered her head, not daring to speak. Lisa continued, you low life. My son ate it, so what? Is it such a big deal? Yeah, right. Her son is so noble, so important. People could starve, but her dog couldn't. I rolled my eyes internally. Suddenly, she turned to me. Jane, it's all your fault. I told you to wash him properly. You didn't watch him, let him run around. Are you trying to harm him? Crazy woman, but she got one thing half right. I'm not trying to hurt that dog. I want to kill them all. I'm just waiting for her to kick me out. Kevin looked at the empty food storage and frowned. Do you have more supplies stocked somewhere else? Heavens no, I didn't. Kevin glanced out at the lightning storm and began to make a call. I'll ask Michael on the other hill if he can share some with us. That couldn't happen. I quickly grabbed his hand. Don't call. At a time like this, food is precious. There's no way they'd just send some over. Kevin's expression darkened. Then what do you suggest we do? Oh, I was waiting for this question. Maybe someone should go in person to Michael's, show sincerity. Kevin thought it over. You're right, but who should go? He surveyed the room. There was only him, Lisa, me, and the maid, Lily. Lily looked at the storm through the window and immediately backed away. But then Lisa laughed. Kevin, send Jane. She's the lady of the house. She can speak for us. If Lily goes, it won't be taken seriously. A maid doesn't carry that kind of weight. Yeah, I silently applauded Lisa, but I had to pretend. Couldn't show my hand. I acted scared like Lily and backed away. No, Kevin, I can't go. It's a storm outside. I'm pregnant. I'd be risking my life. I wasn't lying. In that past life, this was when they kicked me out. I begged in the rain for them to let me back in, but they shut the door tight. Lisa viciously added, if you can't find food, just die out there. Don't come back. I had no choice but to scramble over to the other hill, only to find Michael's family had already packed up and left, and I discovered cracks in the mountain there. As I was about to crawl back and tell them of the danger, Lisa's huge dog pounced with bared teeth. I fell off the cliff with my baby, dying on impact. My soul floated and watched as ravens pecked at my body, and I saw Lisa snuggling with Kevin while that dog, the one that pushed me, lay at their feet. What a happy little family, huh? Even when the landslide came, Kevin never asked about me, never opened the door to check. He simply questioned Lily. She's not back yet, Lily scornfully said. She must have fled, taking the food with her. That's my maid whom I usually treat like family. I give her the best salary and benefits, yet all she cares about is pleasing Lisa, the mistress. Lisa butted in. She won't just snag some food and not come back for us, will she? Kevin scoffed and grabbed his phone to call Michael right away. But too bad, as soon as the call connected, a violent shake knocked him to the ground. It all happened in just 1 minute. Now, seeing that I wasn't going, Lisa forcefully pushed me toward the door. Hurry up, if you don't go, who will? Think about it. There are so many of us, and how are we supposed to last until day 10 without food? Go out and beg for some food. I don't care if you have to kneel or bow. Just make sure to bring something back. With her pushing me, I was more or less forced out the door. Kevin was still nice enough to give me a raincoat. Get going and come back fast. I pretended to cry, clutching Kevin's sleeve desperately. Honey, I can't go, I'm pregnant. What if something happens on the way, and we lose the baby? There was a hint of worry in his eyes, but Lisa soon pulled him back inside. Jane, don't think about using the baby to guilt trip Kevin. You're not the only one in the world who can have kids, am I right? I took one last look at Kevin, the man I'd lived with for years. An hour from now, he'd vanish from this world, and from my life for good. Just thinking about it made me happy. Kevin, I'm off, and I wish you a smooth journey. He gave me a puzzled look. Are you talking crazy or what? Enough with the nonsense, go fetch some stuff. I put on the raincoat, and was just about to leave when I heard Lisa muttering. Why is it so dark over at Michael's place? Could they be not there? Damn, I can't let them get suspicious, not with just an hour left. I quickly chimed in, I'll check it out. Don't worry, wait for my update. Kevin also glanced at the villa across the street before urging me to hurry. Go on, and call me if anything comes up. I stepped out into the storm. The rain beat down on me like hail, but I wasn't scared, not a bit sad, because I'm out of danger, and for those shameless jerks, karma's coming real soon. The rain had been washing the hill down for days, turning it into a muddy mess. One wrong step and I'd fall, so I carefully protected my belly. Not that I'm particularly fond of this child, but I can't miscarry now. With no doctors around, I'd bleed out before they do, and that won't do. I've been reborn to see their end with my own eyes, their miserable end. I crawled and clawed my way to Michael's villa. On the way, I saw lots of cracks, and bats swooping low. They are animals most sensitive to geological disasters. Fortunately, Michael's folks seemed in a hurry. They didn't lock the door. I rushed in and turned on all the lights. I knew Kevin was watching from across the street. Seeing the lights would put his mind at ease. Sure enough, he called me. I took off the raincoat and stood on the villa's balcony. It was a great spot. I could see Kevin's every move, and I'd even left a phone there. I could hear every word clearly. Right now, he was all over Lisa, kissing her like he was starved. Hungry indeed, can't wait, apparently. No food, but they've got time for this. After he was done nibbling, he asked me, you there? I saw lights at Michael's. They must be home. I lied to him, not yet. The way is rough. I fell a couple times. Be careful. Kevin couldn't finish his sentence before Lisa cut him off. You better hurry with the food, my son's hungry. No food in an hour, and I'll kill you. I almost laughed. In an hour, they wouldn't even need food, ever again. I pulled up a chair on the balcony, and found Michael's telescope. Perfect for a clear view. I scanned the opposite hill. The mountain behind the villa had huge cracks. Wouldn't hold for long. Stones and mud were already starting to slide downward. As for Kevin and Lisa, they were getting real into it. Lisa's dress half hung around her arms, skirt pulled to her waist. She straddled Kevin's lap. Oddly, her dog seemed super agitated, restless around them. Especially seeing Lisa enjoying herself, the dog almost bit Kevin. And that hit me. That dog's no son. It's her boyfriend. Why else would he matter so much to her? Poor Kevin. I even felt a tad sorry for him. Stones started rolling more. Trees were uprooting, crashing downhill. I saw Lily, panicked, appear in the hall, but Lisa threw a pillow at her. Scram, blind or what? Lily was frantic, didn't care what was happening before her. No, Kevin, go check the backyard. That mountain, it. Lisa wiggled a little more on Kevin's lap, turned his face. Ignore her, she's nuts, focus. But Lily didn't leave. Kevin, the mountain in the backyard is splitting, rocks rolling down. Kevin finally pushed Lisa off him. I'm going to take a look, he said. He quickly walked away, and I pointed the binoculars towards the backyard. Kevin was looking uneasy by the slope and ran back towards the living room, shouting, "Lisa, we've got to go, hurry up. There's about to be a landslide." But Lisa was too absorbed to hear him. When Kevin rushed into the living room, wow, even from where I was, I could feel his frustration. It was more intense than the landslide itself. It stopped him in his tracks. He roared, trying to drag the big dog away. "Get off, get out. Lisa, do you even know what you're doing?" Lisa was stuck under the dog, and it refused to let go. Kevin, furious, grabbed a chair and hit the dog. The dog yelped and finally let go. Kevin, emotional, grabbed Lisa's arm. "Lisa, have you lost your dignity? With a dog in front of me?" Ha, couldn't help but laugh. Men just can't stay cool in situations like this. He's already forgotten all about the landslide. That's exactly what I wanted. "Don't go, just stay put." Lisa pushed Kevin's hand away. "What's your problem? Jealous of a dog?" "Yup," gave me a good laugh. "Jealous of a dog." The two started bickering, while Lily was running around nervously. "Kevin, Lisa, we need to leave. It's dangerous here, we're running out of time." Lisa had no clue about the landslide and held onto Kevin. "Apologize to my dog." "Why did you hit it?" "Just why? It's been with me longer than anyone. It's my only treasure." Overcome with anger, Kevin slapped Lisa. "Get out, it's disgusting, really disgusting. Get out of my house, Lisa. I picked you all up from the mountain for nothing." Lisa felt deeply insulted. "Kevin, I didn't realize you were so petty. You can't even tolerate a dog." "Fine, I'm leaving right now." Lisa turned, calling her dog. "Let's go, buddy. We don't need to stay where we're not welcome." Kevin suddenly seemed to come to his senses and ran. But Lisa wasn't going to let him leave, and her dog jumped in to help. The dog barked loudly at Kevin. Kevin got desperate. "Move, get out of the way. We're gonna be too late." Lisa screamed, "Apologize to my dog, apologize, and I'll let you go." I pretended to pull out my phone, dialing Kevin's number, recording the call of course. "Honey, I'm at Michael's house. There's no one here, they've all left." Kevin got even more frantic, and I went on. "Should we leave too? It doesn't feel safe here. I saw a lot of cracks on the way over." He dropped his phone and ran towards the door, but he couldn't outrun it. In the face of nature, humans are so insignificant. The mountain across started shaking. I saw it clearly, mud rushing down the slope. Kevin couldn't stand still, and neither could Lisa. She finally panicked. "What's happening?" The backyard collapsed, then the house. I watched the 3-story villa fall apart in an instant. Just like that, the house rolled down with mud, rocks, trees, and water. Instantly, I saw Kevin and Lisa, buried under rubble and bleeding. In just a few minutes, the mountain was flattened, the luxury villa gone. Kevin and Lisa, buried somewhere, gone. Along with Lily and Lisa's dog. They are all dead for sure. In a landslide like this, no one makes it out alive. I calmly enjoyed the scene before picking up the phone to call for help. I urgently reported that my house collapsed, and my husband was buried. The cops told me they couldn't send help, the flood had destroyed the roads. Of course, I knew that, but I needed to make the call. Keep up the act, right? I sat at Michael's, sipping coffee and admiring the scene. Really, in front of nature, we're just so small. I finally got a peaceful night's sleep. I should thank Michael and nature. While that side collapsed, this side was untouched. The next day, the rain finally stopped, and the sun appeared, as beautiful as my mood. I pretended to search the ruins across, but there was nothing but debris. They were buried too deep in the mud. Sitting on a big rock, I thought back to my past with Kevin. When I met him, I didn't know about his first love. We had just a normal arranged marriage, peacefully living for 3 years. Without Lisa, I'm sure we would have continued like that. But there's no what if. Lisa came back. When the rescue team arrived, it was the 4th day. Despite all the machinery digging for 2 days, they found nothing. The detectives picked up no signs of life. The workers looked at me, not knowing what to say. I knew what they meant and asked through tears, "Is there no hope?" After being silent, they nodded. "It's been over a week, no survivors here." I covered my face and cried my eyes out. Everyone thought I was heartbroken, but honestly, inside, I was laughing like crazy. Kevin, his multi-million-dollar company, it's all mine now. We were only married for convenience. He never trusted me and always kept me on a tight leash. I had to constantly read his moods. But now, everything belongs to me. And since they couldn't find the bodies, I don't even have to buy urns, let alone a cemetery plot. That saves me a chunk of change. Just thinking about it makes me happy. They can just wander as lost souls forever, enduring all sorts of torments. After the rescue efforts ended, Kevin and Lisa remained buried underground. I looked up and laughed. My good days are finally here. I returned to his company and took over everything as Kevin's widow. Of course, some people questioned me, like Kevin's uncle. He looked at me seriously. Why were you the only one not in the villa? Where were you then? I figured this would come up. Calmly, I played a recording of my conversation with Kevin. I told him to leave, but he didn't believe me. He wouldn't go. They also brought up my assistant, who called me, saying I didn't want to leave. I cried louder than anyone. Honest to God, it wasn't me who didn't want to leave. It was Lisa, Kevin's mistress. She said the place had electricity and was comfortable to stay. Everyone went silent and even started feeling sorry for me since they all knew about Lisa. They pitied me, the wronged wife. I officially replaced Kevin as the CEO of the company. On my first day on the job, I got rid of all of Kevin's stuff. That included the child he gave me too. It wasn't that I didn't love the child. I just didn't love his dad. So I couldn't give the child happiness. I scheduled the surgery and calmly let go of him. I'm starting my new life, one that truly belongs to me. The end.